Within storytelling exists a genre known as power fantasy. Simply put, it is a story in which characters wield powers that we normal humans could never even dream of obtaining. That is, unless you're a crackhead living in Los Angeles. The power systems used are the stuff of fantasy. It's pretty self-explanatory. Power fantasy is arguably one of the most common genres due to how much we love seeing the impossible become possible. I had to go outside for that bit. I hope you're happy. Some quick examples of power fantasy shows are Jujutsu Kaisen, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and The Boys. Each of these shows display the power development in different ways, but the overall skeleton remains the same. Power fantasy has many subgenres and differing methods of storytelling, but in this video I want to focus on the trope of the overpowered main character. I'm specifically referring to Solo Leveling and why it works fantastically as a power fantasy, and by extension why Jin-woo is a great OP MC, whereas so many others in this category fail. And just to prove I'm not biased, I got one of my friends to give his honest, raw opinion on Solo Leveling.
Yo.
Hey, Ronan, quick question.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Solo Leveling?
That shit was fucking ass.
Oh. Fuck. You know what? It's fine. My friends aren't known for their intelligence anyway. So spoiler warning for Solo Leveling as well as these other listed works, and let's jump straight into the recipe of the perfect power fantasy.
All I ever wanted was a black Grand National. Fuck being rational, give them what they asked for. It's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that are really stepped, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on their ass. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I made them niggas mad. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I take the G-pad. Yeah, watch a nigga do it. We survived outside, all from the music, nigga. What?
When writing a story, one key aspect you want to establish fairly early on is the goal of your story. What is your main character wanting to achieve, and how do they aim to achieve it? Within the first 2 episodes of Solo Leveling, we're told very clearly that Jin-woo is without both his parents, needs to provide for his younger sister who is still in high school, and is also paying for the treatment fees for his comatose mother. This immediately endears us to Jin-woo as he's just a kid too weak to help the ones he loves. We see the trials and tribulations he goes through, so when he does gain power to get stronger, we celebrate the achievement because Jin-woo is able to now fight for the goal he's already been striving for. Each time Jin-woo gets a little closer to completing his mission, we feel like he's earned it because we see his drive and his motivation. An example that's different in execution but just as effective is Rudeus's evolution throughout Mushoku Tensei. Hey, isn't that guy a pedophile? Shut the fuck up! Rudeus's redemption from a scumbag who should be put on a list alongside the likes of Dream and Drake to a man surrounded by love and respect is not his own personal quest, but the quest of the storyteller themselves. The reward of the story isn't the MC completing a preset mission, but seeing the MC become greater than he was, seeing him change and grow. Mushoku Tensei is a deep emotional character study in the guise of a power fantasy. I really should make a video on Mushoku Tensei. I'll put it on the list. In cases where this fails, I'd like to turn your attention to Smartphone Isekai and Bofuri. For those who don't know, this show sucks balls, and this show is kinda funny as long as you're a woman. The main thing that makes these shows inferior is the lack of appropriate challenge for the main character. If the main character doesn't struggle, then we as an audience don't feel invested or rewarded with the accomplishing of their goals. In both of these cases, the respective MCs face little to no challenge and are always able to easily get out of any situation due to being so astronomically overpowered. In Bofuri's defense, it is more comedic in nature and it's a bit of a gimmick show, with the gimmick being how OP Maple is. But to counter, I want to mention One Punch Man, which I think has perfected its gimmick with the simple addition of adversity for its main character. Saitama is well known for being the man who can win any fight in one punch. Who would have fucking guessed? But how the writers keep this gimmick interesting, apart from the show just being plain funny, is that the show keeps scaling its villains to Saitama. First we have the Fish Lips guy, who I can never remember his name. then Boros, and then eventually it leads up to Garo. Saitama himself doesn't get stronger, the whole bit is that he is the strongest, but it's his enemies that gradually get stronger. And the same thing is displayed fantastically in Solo Leveling. No matter how strong someone might look, there is always a bigger fish. We also see Jin-woo get his ass handed to him constantly, and because we see him being challenged, it makes those victories against said challenge way much more rewarding than if he simply tanks everything without so much as a scratch. Watching a main character get back up is far more engaging than a main character who never goes down.
I haven't lost yet!
Some of the most annoying things within the OP-MC trope, and it's most prevalent in isekai shows, are the edgelords and the bitch magnets. Both of these are annoying because they're often not executed well. Arifureta is the most immediate example of displaying both issues. Hajime Nagamo is both an annoying emo with so much edge I could use him to shave my face, and is also constantly surrounded by women who, apart from one, have literally no reason to stick around him apart from he's the main character. No, it's not just because I'm jealous, this is a critical critique of writing, I swear. Arifureta's writing confuses stoic indifference as equivalent to having aura, when in fact it just comes across like a preteen thinking they're tough. OMG, he disrespects everyone around him and always wears a scowl, he's so cool. I hate to break it to you, but that's not being cool. That's called being an asshole. Women don't like assholes. Sorry, real women don't like assholes. And that brings me to the other factor, completely nonsensical harems. Harems are tricky to write and almost always fail if they're not played as a bit or have some level of comedic undertone. High School DxD is actually a great example of harem done well because the entire show is a complete joke.
I wish that bicycle seat was my face.
But to the show's benefit, the few moments that they do attempt serious hype moments, it's actually done really well. The show has no business being as entertaining as it is.
Don't fuck with me! Rias's boobs are perfect and I won't let you reduce them! Wait, what?
If a harem takes itself too seriously, it juxtaposes the whole silliness of harem as a concept.
Oh, they have it. Abysmal dog shit.
Oh, just abysmal dog shit!
Bringing Solo Leveling back, Jin-woo is a very carefully written character because while he is always cold and has immense aura, as the TikTok kids would put it, fuck me, I'm old. Never once does it come across as edgy or like a 12-year-old thinking he's cool. All of the toughness that Jin-woo displays matches both his strength and the situation he's in. It also fits very naturally into Solo Leveling because other people's reactions to Jin-woo match the aura that he himself puts out. There's always a very consistent tone that never feels out of place. Also, in Solo Leveling's benefit is that it never once even attempts to pull any harem shenanigans. There are many female characters throughout the series that display affection for Jin-woo, but they're only featured for the duration of their respective arcs before the story very quickly moves on, often straight up abandoning these characters for the entire rest of the story, never to be seen again, much to the audience's disappointment. You have no idea how happy I was to see Essel return in Ragnarok. She was actually one of my favorite characters and it sucked so bad to just see her disappear after the Demon Castle arc. So I am very glad to see her return as an important member of Suho's team. Ragnarok is actually great, by the way. It's only like 30 chapters in and so far it's a fantastic follow-up to its predecessor. Solo Leveling is well known for the epic he's him moments from Jin-woo where he goes against the most savage looking beasts and enemies and comes out of the fight looking like he could have done it in his sleep. But something else that keeps a lot of people engaged, myself included, are the funny little interactions between Jin-woo and his shadows or just the shadows amongst each other. Anime only watchers have just gotten their first peek at this with now Iron joining the Shadow Army in episode 2 of the second season.
Oh my god, Iron! I just said it's over! Show some restraint.
But us manhwa readers know full well what's to come, especially when Beru joins the fray. It's so funny that he goes from one of the toughest, most scary looking enemies to literally Jin-woo's fucking fanboy. I love it, it's hilarious. I hope you acknowledge that spoiler warning, by the way, because I'm not cutting that out of the video. I did say before that Solo Leveling has a more serious tone, but it doesn't mean it can't be comedic. And a plus is that the comedy throughout the series is very well written and it never overstays its welcome. Something happens, a joke is made, comedy is achieved, we exhale from our nose and keep reading. It helps to spice up an otherwise serious and action-packed series. Another huge plus is that Solo Leveling has a very simple plot. Man is weak. He gets stronger. Solo Leveling! No, but seriously, the plot is very easy to digest on a surface level, but it does have little hints of a greater lore for scholars out there who actually care, like me. Fun fact, I am actually very smart. How do I know this? I am the only one to have ever figured out that Berserk in its entirety takes place in the city of Detroit.
Maybe you should try getting a job.
A story of this nature works best if it's kept simple because it means that it can have more of a focus on a very basic skeleton of Jin-woo obtains Tren and makes it everyone else's problem. No overcomplicated lore that even MatPat couldn't decipher, and no convoluted plot weaving that would take an Attack on Titan fan to decipher. The story is simple, accessible, and epic, and Jin-woo is the perfect example of a girl boss. A true icon in the art of slay. To wrap this video up, if Solo Leveling isn't your #1 favorite piece of fiction ever, then you are clearly mentally deranged and your only salvation is to subscribe to this channel to feed my ever-growing ego. Speaking of ego, my next video will be on Blue Lock, and fun fact, I have never played football in my life. Not that you could tell, I'm built like a Greek god.